Hey y'all, how you doing? It is Saturday actually. I usually don't work on Saturdays, but I'm trying to get concrete poured between rain. So I've been kind of slow this week, dragging my feet, just to make sure that everything is exactly as it should be, that I've done all my research. Because again, once you pour concrete, it's done. I'm doing things a little out of order just because I've never done this before. So I'm just going to show you what I've got today and what I've got to finish today. And I'm planning on pouring concrete on Monday. Sun's kind of in between today, and it's not supposed to rain again until Wednesday, so it should be okay. Just waiting for a corner to dry up that the downspout was over, and kind of, anyway, I put a drain tile down, and it wasn't quite as angled as it should have been, so it kind of leaked back into the ditch. So just a couple places where it's a little wet and it needs to firm up a little bit, but it should be dry by Monday. Anyway, so I'm going to take this off of me and I'm going to show you what we got. So I've got the beginnings of my form boards. So I strung lines again. I dropped plumb bobs from the top. Oh, that's another thing too I should show you. So I whacked the beams that are sitting out there that were holding up the deck, along with those deck blocks. There's two of them. There's the other two. So now this whole deck is resting on my awesome jack setup here. So I bought 3 extra posts for the basement. So I'm using 2 of those. This one, because this one's a little wonky, and if it does decide to just kind of slip out, I got extra support there, and then I needed an extra one here because this beam is right now currently the beam that's holding up the rest of the deck. But once I put the wall up, which will be on this joist right here, these 2 will be floating, and we can't have that. Actually, am I wrong? I'm sorry. This one will be floating. This is where the wall's going. I had to look back down here. So anyway, I needed to put that up, and once we have the concrete poured, the stem wall poured, and this exterior wall here all framed up, then we can take the weight off of these, but we have to leave the weight on here until we put another post under this guy right here, because this will be the last joist of the deck, and this will be the first joist of the actual house. So this is where the gap's going to be, but we need this gap so that we can sheathe the outside from all the way from down here all the way up to the top. So anyway, we don't want this just hanging out here on this board. We want a post here. So that'll be, it's fine. That can sit there for a while, or we can readjust these posts once that wall's up. But sorry, lengthy explanation here. But anyway, so as you can see, all these jacks are now holding this. It took me a long time to do it. Anyway, there was a lot of work that needed to be done. All these joists here were kind of different lengths, and I need them all to be the same length so that the rim joist board that sits on the outside will sit right on top of this wall evenly. And then also the very end board was shorter, and is also, it's in about 3 inches, so two bys too far in. So it'll sit on the middle 2x6 of this wall, the middle of the 2x6, and the rim joist, it's not really a rim joist, but the last joist I have to put, there's going to be an 1.5 inch gap between it and the existing one, because when they framed up this deck, they didn't frame it even with the exterior basement wall. It's actually pulls in 3 inches and then ends. So we want that all flush too. So I accounted for all that when I pulled the string for everything and dug the trenches and whatnot. So This is my first time doing concrete work. So again, I just took my time with this stuff, but I called the county and asked them what their spec was for footers here in East Tennessee, and they said 12 by 12 is what they do. There's actually no code out here outside the city, but I asked them what the code was inside the city, and they said 12 deep by 12 wide. So mine are all varying, but I'm going to make most of it at least 12 inches deep. It's going to step down twice just because there's a slope under here, because we're fixing what the previous people did not do. So anyway, so it's at least 12 inches deep. Some places it's 16 inches deep, and then it's 15 inches wide because I had to put a plate compactor that was 14 inches. It said on Home Depot's website, and when I got it here, it was actually 15 inches. So I actually had to go around and I had to take a shovel and I had to shear off an extra inch to 2 inches in some places off the edges just to get the plate compactor in there, and it is not light. So it would get stuck and then I'd have to drag it back. Anyway, I'm rambling, but so it's about 15 to 16 inches wide in most places, and at least 12 inches deep. Here against the basement wall, I actually use the basement wall as the other side of my form. Of course, the stem wall is going to sit off center from the actual footer itself, but that's fine. It'll actually sit on top of probably the footer for the basement, which is even deeper. If it has a footer, I'm guessing it does, but they might have just laid block right on top of the dirt. I don't know. But anyway, so I've got one form board out here and then the wall. So the stem wall will go between the form board and the basement wall. And then just for those of you who've never done concrete or know how it works, I had to look all this, and it's taken me years to do my research. But anyway, you pour the concrete in the top of the form and it fills up the trench. And then when it hits this board out here, it stops and then it starts filling. It's, it's just basic like physics. And then it starts filling up this trench here until it hits the top. And then you take a trowel and you smooth it all. And I've got something called J bolts that I'm gonna push in here every so often. They're kind of shaped like a L, actually not like a J, but they go into the concrete straight, and then just the top part, which is threaded, sticks out. And then once it's all dry and you go to put your wall on here, you drill holes in the bottom plate of the wall, and then you put a washer and a nut, and it holds the wall to the footer. So it's probably don't need it under here, but again, I'm just trying to do things as much as I can by the book, so that everything's good to go. So then I stopped here, obviously 6 inches, and then my inside form board will go here. Again, I pulled string, so everything was even. Dropped the plumb bob again on this joist as far out as it needed to go, and the edge. So both strings going both directions are showing me the outsides of the wall. And then I made this cool block because of something I had seen on YouTube. So essentially you measure the width of a 2x6, and then you add the other width of any kind of 2x material, because when you put it in here, when you've already put up one form, you put it up like this, and then you put your stake right next to here and you pound your stake in. I can't really show you because I don't have that many hands, but so when you pound in your stake and then you pull this out, you have exactly the width of your 2x6, and your stake has gone in exactly where you want it. And then because you marked the width of this, your new form board will sit up against the stake. You screw it in or nail it in, whatever you prefer, and then your width is exactly what you want it to be. So it's a cool little trick, little cheater block. So I made this guy. It's been working pretty awesome. So anyway, that's that. And put down my little chairs for my rebar already, because I want to do my rebar I think, before I put my second form board up. I don't know. I'm still kind of. That's why I put them down, just to see. Is this how I want to do it? I don't know. Again, this is my first time, so I think though I want the rebar down there before I do the other form boards. Otherwise, it's going to be a pain to get the rebar all situated. But I also don't want it to be in the way when I do my other form boards. So I don't know what's better. But the thing that I've done, that I've kind of put myself in a situation with, is I really should have dug a trench through my trench for my plumbing. I should have done that first, and I didn't. So this is my 3-inch pipe that's going to go out here, and for now it's just going to drain into the field, which is fine. It's just gray water. It's going to come from the washing machine and the sink that's in the laundry room. So just gray water, no big deal. But anyway, I've got to dig a trench perpendicular to my footer, and it's got to go deeper than the footer, and then I got to recompact where my trench went. It should go underneath. I don't want to put it through the footer. I just don't think that'll be, in case you have to replace that pipe and it's through the concrete, that's going to be, challenging. So I don't think it's a big deal, but also it's going to be in the way of the rebar too, and I don't think I want that. But we'll see. But anyway, so I got to move the largest part of this mound, of course. It's right where I need this pipe. So, but anyway, the laundry room is going to be right here. So there's going to be a fridge up against the outer wall. Or, I'm sorry, a stand-up freezer, and then a little pantry. There's going to be a walkway and a door to the outside here. And then on this side will be the washer, dryer, and sink. So the washing machine will go into the wall. It'll have a little P-trap inside the wall. It'll go down and drain over to where the sink is. And then the sink will drain into probably a 3-inch into the wall, go down, and then go through this here out into the field. And then we'll have a wall, that wall here that's the washing machine and dryer up against. This will be our mechanical room, so we'll have our electrical panel up against that wall. And then against this wall, we'll have all of our water valves and our water heater. And then the tray that the water heater will sit in will also have a drain into the wall where the washing machine goes to, and that'll drain out here too, just in case there's some sort of, issue with the water heater. That's what it's for, in case it starts leaking. So that'll be all contained as well. So I think that's it. So anyway, what I was trying to get at is this right here is my issue. So I got to move all this dirt. I got to dig this trench, and that's going to set me back some today. And I'm already not really wanting to be out here on a Saturday, but again, I have to get all these forms, rebar, and this dug today so that Sunday or Monday I can pour the concrete, which I have my new mixer here, and I guess I'll show you. I didn't show you all. I ordered 320 bags of concrete, and that's what that looks like. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 by 2. So I've got 8 pallets of concrete, and I overshot on purpose so I wouldn't have to pause and go to the store in the middle of it. But hopefully 320 bags should fill this trench like it's supposed to. But anyway, another thing you might have questions about are these. I set these up because there's a big chunk of concrete I had to blast out of here, and I had to dig around it. So I just cut a piece of OSB, put some stakes in, and backfilled. So the concrete will just come up right against these forms on this side. And there were some other low spots I had to do that. There's one there. There's a big spot there over in that corner. And then over in this corner too, I had to make a little bit of a form. So there were some additional forms that I needed to make just because this particular spot under the house or by the house or whatever you want to call it was not graded, right? It wasn't prepped. I was just I couldn't get machinery under here, and I wanted to save some money, so There's a big pit here. There's an old drain tile you can see that came, I think, or maybe it was for the downspout, but now they have the downspout going through a corrugated hose that just dumps. So I think maybe it went under here before and came through here. I took a chunk of pipe out so that I could build this form here, and then it continues here and goes out to the field. There's the chunk of pipe I took out. And so this is the corner. We're waiting for it to dry out. I'm sorry, the lighting is really bad, but if I get closer you can see. So it's a little muddy in here, and it's because this guy, I had this concrete drain tile underneath sitting on top of this form board, but it wasn't tilted enough. So the rain went over the edge and then tripped back and then came right into here. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I'll make another little video, try to tomorrow. That is if I get everything done. So got a lot to do today, but just wanted to show you guys because I haven't filmed anything this week, so just wanted to show you what I've been doing. So if I missed anything in here, if you have any questions, as always, just throw a post in the comment section. I'll try to answer it. All right, thanks y'all. See you later.